Let's get this over with. I mean, just look at how huge this place is. Of course, Odin has to have a temple this gigantic devoted to him. By the way, there's a Legion invasion going on here in Stormheim, so yeah, it's a little more hectic than usual. There he is. Spit. You guys have heard me rant about Odin before. If you haven't, you can hear my whole rant about how much I hate Odin and the Warrior Order Hall and Legion in the video I did about the Arms Warrior, where I first started to show off the Warrior Order Hall when I showed that artifact quest. I've also done at least one or two videos on the dungeon right over there, the Halls of Valor, where we go in there and he's like, you know, gonna have you do a few tests to see if you are worthy, you know, and I'm currently working on the Balance of Power quest line on my Death Knight here, which a part of that quest line is we have to go around and get certain things. By the way, you have to get revered with the Valjar as well. Then you have to get certain types of meat, and you have to go into the dungeon on Mythic and offer it as an, make it an offering to Odin for his blessing. And he's like, well, if you wish my blessing, you'll have to do another test. And it's the same test as before. He's like, all right, I suppose you might be worthy. You just notice this trend where he just keeps throwing test after test after test after test at you. So now, also, by the way, this takes place not just after the Halls of Valor dungeon, but also after the Maw of Souls dungeon, where we have essentially dealt a blow to Helia, because we encountered her in that dungeon, we kind of sent her running. Well, now the story in this raid here, the Trial of Valor, which is a short raid, but it's essentially we are going to have one final test before we actually get sent down to Helheim to actually kill Helia and free Odin from the curse that forces him to stay restricted to his Halls of Valor where he can't leave. Once we kill Helia, he's free. I'm like, do I have to? Can't I just let him stay trapped there? No? Now, there actually is more than one reason for this. We are actually also, storyline-wise, we actually also go here because we find out that Illidan's soul is actually in Helheim. So, during Legion, there's a quest line where we find out that, for one thing, we find out about what happened earlier. I showed you guys this at the beginning of the previous video for the Emerald Nightmare, where Gul'dan found Illidan's corpse encased, in his little chrysalis there, or whatever that thing is that Maiev put him in, and took his body. This is actually shown in the Demon Hunter starting zone. He takes his body because Gul'dan is going to use it for a specific plan. It's part of a very specific plan involving Sargeras. We're actually going to see him try to pull this off in the next video when we go to the Nighthold raid. So, we also are trying to counter this. We also get contacted by Zira. Yeah, she comes into play later on. And part of the plan we find out is that we are going to try and find Illidan's soul. We're going to collect fragments from other souls and such. It's a quest line. And then we are going to try and recapture Illidan's soul so that way we can actually put it back into his body before Gul'dan can be able to actually complete his plan. We find out it's actually in Helheim for some reason. Somehow. It ended up there. I don't believe they ever really give an actual explanation as to how or why it's there, but it is there. So, in the quest line, I believe I actually may have tried to do this on camera, I think. I don't remember. I think I tried to show this off in a video my main playthrough, if I recall. It's been a long time. It's been a few years since I may have done that. But in that quest line, the quest was go into the raid and once you defeat Helia, save Illidan's soul. So after we defeat Helia in that, you'll actually see Illidan's soul like on one of the platforms to the right. I'll actually show you the location as we go through here. But that's we're not just doing this for Odin, okay? We're doing this also to help save Illidan. So that's kind of the in-lore explanation as to why we are even bothering to do this. Because really, I mean, other than the fact that Helya has been working alongside with, okay, it's all normal, working with the Burning Legion, we don't really have a motivation to help Odin here. But if this is what we have to do to save Illidan, then so be it. I tried to point this out in the dungeon, but you can even see there the different, the runes and such that are basically sealing Odin from being able to actually leave this place. Since Loken's betrayal, Odin has been trapped within the halls of Valor as Helya plots in the shadows to claim the souls of his Valajar champions. In recent days, however, great heroes have arrived in the lands of Stormheim, in the Legion's wake, hoping that their might and determination could tip the scales and end Helya's reign. Odin summons these champions for a final test. And that's really one of the major differences here. Odin reached out to us and asked us if we would work with him or we would help him. Helya didn't. And when you think about it, if Helya had reached out to us against Odin, would we have done so? Even though she's kind of, kind of cackling evil when she really probably doesn't need to be, but hey, we have to make sure that we know that she's the evil bad guy here, right? When she really doesn't need to be. Because what Odin did to Helya is pretty horrible. It's very justified why she hates him so much. To the point where I'd be like, yeah, no, I sympathize with her. Except for the part where she's all like, dead puppies, That's where it's like, okay, Helya, you kind of lose me there. So, if you're wondering why I kept putting this off, well, you'll notice that right there. On Heimdall and Hyrja, I think? Yeah. Believe it or not, she was also in the dungeon. Now, all of a sudden, she's here even stronger. But, of course, they're not necessarily the real fight. Odin is. But you'll see here in just a moment.
You have spilled the blood of Helya's minions. The time has come to enter Helheim itself and end the Sea Witch's dark reign. But first, our final challenge. Heimdall! Hyrja! Test the mettle of these mortals. I must be certain they possess the courage and skill needed for what is to come. Shall we be lenient with these pets of yours, Odin?
Pets?
Hold nothing back. I must know they are ready for the task ahead.
So be it! The unworthy shall be purged from the halls of Valor!
The battle is yours to begin, heroes.
In ages past, Odin led the Titan-forged armies against the Black Empire of the Old Gods. But for millennia, he has been confined to the halls of Valor by the curse of his bitter nemesis, Helya. Who was his daughter, by the way? Yeah. Odin seeks mortal champions to vanquish the ruler of Helheim and secure his freedom. So yeah, just a reminder, Helya was basically his daughter, and then he killed her and turned her into the first Valkyr against her will, by the way. Yeah. Alright, so this right here, you notice that little thing there? This right here is what kept delaying this. Damage taken is reduced by 99%. This is another mechanic where you have to split them apart. Now, good smart tanks will pick this up immediately and immediately separate them. Not so good tanks will just simply ignore this. And, well, that kind of screws things up. So, let's just say for a while I was struggling with this until I figured something out. Now, I believe there's no other way to do this unless you have a pet. So basically, this is more viable for you to do if you have an Unholy DK, a Warlock, or a Hunter. Now let's see if I can pull this off again. If I don't, we're going to be here a long time.
None can stand against Helya's chosen.
Alright, there we go.
Only cowards fear the call of battle! Well done, so far. But I will judge for myself whether you are worthy.
So now we have to fight Odin again.
It seems I have been too gentle. Have at it! Your worth is proven. With you as my champions, Helya will fall, and I will at long last be free of the curse that binds me here.
By the way, this right here displays the different kinds of armor tints that you can acquire from this raid, which has to do with the quest that you can pick up from Odin here. In fact, I actually have one of these sets here. So you notice there's this silver one right here. This kind of yellow bronze one over here. There's this dark black one over here. And then there's this golden one here. Now, I actually have this one right here. Let me, here it is. This one right here. This is labeled as being part of heroic, and then there's another one that's normal. It's this one right here. So, I guess so, then you get this quest as part of it. While Helya's defeat is your primary objective, I require more of your aid. Helya has gained the ability to steal and corrupt the souls of my Valajar. Her minions hold these souls, corrupting them. I am certain Helya herself hoards the greatest Valajar souls to herself. You must recover these souls, then return them to me. Do this, and I will reward you with blessed guard from the Hall's armory. So yeah, you have to get 1,000 Valajar soul fragments within the raid. So yeah, you pick it up from him right here.
Tell me of your battles.
You can get some different kind of pieces here.
My Valajar.
Will you venture into the depths of Helheim and slay Helya? I will fight her in your name, Odin. Hold on, I gotta lick your boots real quick. Alright, you can go now. I've done that too often on my warriors. I do love that, though. Just straight up an Iron Man landing. Shoot through, ready to kill! You guys know which one I'm talking about. Yeah, on normal I can absolutely annihilate this. My Death Knight is at 214 right now, so yeah, he's just able to annihilate all this. Which will really help out in the next one. By the way, this trash is horrible. You know what's one of the reasons why they're horrible? They have a yanking thing that they do here, where they'll just yank you. Like, if you aggro these things, like, and you're trying to run down here with the raid, they'll just yoink, yoink, yoink. Yeah, I've seen it in action. It's so annoying. It's horrible. There it is, right there. You see it? Now imagine that happening over and over and over. Yeah, that's... Ugh. You want to talk about annoying. Yeah, it's funny. This is all in a raid instance, and yet you know that this is part of the Stormheim area. But yeah, you do that, and you aggro the rest of the trash that are here, so they all try to come attack you, and you do that whole yanking thing, and yeah. By the way, yeah, these giants are back. You probably recognize them from Nox Ramus with the Scourge. Of course, Helia has them. Back down to Helheim we go. By the way, did you notice the range I had to pull Heimdall and Hyrja apart in order for that debuff to go away? Yeah. So we're back in Helheim. Hey Helia, I'll be with you in a bit. So, this is the second boss, Gwarm. You actually can see him when you come down here to Helheim, but you're not supposed to fight him because, of course, he's a raid boss. They usually make those kinds of bosses extremely powerful if you encounter them outside of the raid, because the idea is that they are so strong you have to have a raid group in order to take them down. By the way, you can only get these from Gwarm. At least I think. I don't think you can get them from Helia. But yeah, you basically have to farm Gwarm a lot in order to get these fragments. Helia's vicious three-headed hound stands guard at the gates of Helheim, bred to require neither comfort nor sleep. Wait, you can breed this thing? Gwarm remains ever watchful for any invaders who come to challenge the reign of his cruel mistress. So I believe there is some kind of meteor mechanic. Let me see if I can actually show off some of the mechanics here for this fight.
Charge!
Of course, what's funny is me being the Godzilla fan I am, I see a three-headed monster, and you know what I think of is King Ghidorah.
2, 1.
Breath and cry.
Look at the different colored breath here.
Guardian's cry.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Run out.
By the way, notice that he is continuing to get stronger.
Guardian's cry.
Oh, that actually is hurting a lot.
Let me guess. You got in over your head?
Shut up, Wansambi.
Many deals for a friend of the Grummles.
So yeah, even at max level and good gear, that can still absolutely wreck you. So, yeah. That buff he got there was nasty. His breath unleashes 3 elements, fire, nature, and shadow. He gains a stack of Frothing Rage for every player that is not hit by one of his breath attacks, which is why he kept getting that stack and his damage kept going up. Taking damage from the breath will result in a debuff, which is what I was suffering from. Gaining any 2 of these is deadly, which is what killed me. Yeah. So that's the fight.
Charge!
So this time we're gonna just go ahead and wreck him.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So you can see we got some more of those soul fragments. Also, I got a couple more pieces. transmog pieces. I'll go ahead and take those. Now it's time for Helia, but first we have to go through a whole bunch of her army first.
It's too far.
And we cannot fight her until we clear all this trash.
Oh no! Odin's mighty champions have come to end my reign. Whatever shall I do? So kind of you to deliver your souls to me. It will save my Valkyrie the trouble of fetching them from the surface world.
Do you know what's killing me? They drowned me. Yeah. They put a debuff on you that drowns you.
I have many, many wares. May your feet find good trails.
This is another reason why some people did not really like this, and why coming back to farm this is not exactly fun.
It's too far away.
Nice trinket that my guildmate got there.
It's too far away.
Mortals, you have earned an eternity of torment!
Have I? Well, I mean, then again, I am a Death Knight, so maybe I have. Lovely looking woman, isn't she? Though she once served as Odin's right hand, the vengeful Helia will stop at nothing to ensure her ancient curse binds the Titan Keeper to the halls of valor. No longer satisfied with ruling her shadowy realm, Helia now commands her vast Cavaldier army to plague the lands of the living. Yeah. I've heard some people didn't really think that fondly of this fight here. Yeah. Well, you'll see.
Drown in despair, lapdogs of Odin! Crush the cold kiss of the sea!
So just like in the Maw of Souls, we gotta take care of the tentacles. Because she now backs off all the way over there, and we now get hit with these tidal waves here. And those boats, and yeah. We gotta go back here and get rid of these tentacles in order to actually get her to come back so we can continue to actually fight her. Oh, and of course she summons Ads to deal with us. We also get a debuff called Fetid Rot, which does continuous damage on us. Yeah.
Lurks within the fog!
So you gotta try and go up here so you can try and avoid the water as much as you can. Mists of Helheim. Her power grows, invoking the fury of the Maw when full.
Odin will never be free.
So yeah, I can already see the connection between her and the jailer.
Damn you, Odin! Damn you!
So she's dead, which means he is free.
My ancient nemesis has been vanquished. The curse that bound me to the halls of valor is broken at last. Revel in the spoils of victory, worthy champions. The day will come when I have need of your courage and skill once more. Many ages have passed since my eyes looked upon the halls of Ulduar. Perhaps I should visit my Watcher kin. We have much to speak of. Farewell.
So yeah, we free him, and he heads back to Ulduar. And we have not seen him since. Oh, we did get some fragments from Helya, so there is that. Yep. Now, of course, what's funny is that this is not the last time we see Helya. We thought we had permanently killed her, but apparently she's still around because we encountered her in the Maw in Shadowlands. So I'm still waiting to see what else they're going to do with Helya. But Odin? Personally, I hope that Odin comes back and he becomes a raid boss again, and this time we actually get to take him down. Because screw this guy. I'm not fond of any of these. Sorry, Heimdall, but the one from the MCU is much cooler than you are. I don't like this Heimdall at all. Ayer? Nope. Herja? Eh. Yeah. This ends the storyline that we were encountering in Stormheim, as well as what we were dealing with in the Warrior Order Hall. Yeah. Not really fond of this. And there's not really much of a reason to actually farm this other than doing this quest, so you can be able to actually get these sets here if you want, which you can get. Now, all you saw were the plate ones. The ones you saw up there in the previous first room, those were the 4 versions of the plate ones that you can get. Even though there's only 2 I can actually show in the set thing. But, yeah, there's also one for each armor type. And I don't really like any of them. The plate one is like the only one I'm like, oh, it's decent looking. But that's it. That's just me. So, anyways, yeah. Odin's free! Yay! I am curious about what him going back to Ulduar is going to actually mean in the future. So that's the Trial of Valor. Whoops. Next, however, I hope you guys are looking forward to this. I've actually already had someone request me to do this next one, which I did say I was going to do it. I just wanted to do these in order. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little build-up I had for Emerald Nightmare, because I have something in mind as well for the Nighthold, because there's a few specific things I want to show you guys to help add to the story of what's going to be going on here in this next upcoming raid known as the Nighthold, because quite a bit is going on here, and it is it's a culmination of a lot, like Nightmare was, but this more so has to do with a culmination of the last couple of expansions, like Legion, Warlords, heck, even Pandaria to a degree, and of course the whole thing with Suramar, which I will remind you about that when we come back, which of course will feature, of course, one of the better final boss encounters we've ever had, Gul'dan. I'll see you guys in the Nighthold. Stay tuned.